Hey guys, hello guys. Today we are still continuing with our video, which is September 2023 paper 1 revision that we are doing. This is question 6 of that paper. Question 1 or 6.1 of this question. We have a graph. If I can read the statement of the question, the graph of a parabola f and the straight line g intersect at P and S as it's shown below, and then the point R is -1/2 map 0, and then point T here, which is 1 maps to -12, are both on the parabola. And then point Q, which is Q, it's on G, which is G, it's our straight line. And then V is a turning point. V here is a turning point of this parabola, and then the straight line makes an angle of 45. So a straight line makes an angle of 45. Then question 1, which is 6.1, it's saying show that the equation of G of x is equals to -x plus 2. Now from this graph we only have one point, which is G, which is 0 map 2. We don't have another point in order for us to find the gradient. But now they've told us that the angle here, which is the angle going clockwise, is 45. But in order for us to use this equation, let's say m is equals to tan theta, our angle has to come from the x-axis going to a line, meaning it has to go anti-clockwise. But we can find that angle is just 180 minus 45, which is 135, to find our gradient. So let's find our gradient. It's just tan. The theta is this angle from here going to here, which is going to be 135, and then our gradient is equals to tan 135 is just -1. So our tan 135 is -1, and then y is equals to mx plus c. We do have a point in a straight line, which is 0, 2, and then our y is 0 is equals to -1, our x is 2, and then c. And then this is going to be -2, take -2 to the other, first change the sign to be 2, and then our y is just y is equals to, which is g of x, and we say g of x is equals to -x plus 2. I've already shown that our g of x is equals to -x plus 2. And then now 6.2, saying write down the coordinate of S. What is the coordinate of S? It's here. In that coordinate of S, there's something that we know. We know y of this is what? It's 0. So we don't have x, but we know y corner, it's 0. So this point is on a straight line. We already have the equation of a straight line, which is -x plus 2. From there we know y, it's what? It's 0. So it's just 0 is equals to -x, and then plus 2. Then from here, take x to the other side, it's just going to be x is equals to 2. And our point S is what? Is 2 map 0. So our point S here is 2 map 0. Then we can write it like that. And then now 6.3, it's saying show that the equation of f, which is our parabola, is equals to 8x squared minus 12x minus 8. So in that point we do have this point here, and the point here, and the point in the graph. So what do we call this point? What? The x intercept, or the x-axis of what? Of our graph. So how do we find that? If we have these 2 points and the point in the graph, we use the this equation where we call it y is equals to a into x minus x1. X1 is what is going to be my r of x here, then x minus x2 is going to be my x of s, and then what is this x here, and this x is we are using this point in the graph, so my x is going to be 1 and 1, and then my y is going to be negative 12. So now let's substitute, and then we are finding for a, so it's going to be negative 12 is equals to a into 1 minus into negative 1 over 2, and then into 1 minus 2, and then negative 12 is equals to, then now we can punch all this in the calculator. 1 minus into negative 1 over 2, so that, then 1 minus 2, it was 3 over 2, so it's negative 3 over 2a, then we divide by negative 3 over 2, divide by negative 3 over 2, then our a, negative 12 divided by answer, it's what? It's 8. So our a, it's what? It's 8. Then from here we go back to our equation which is saying y is equals to, we know now our a is 8 into x, negative times negative is positive, so it's going to be 1 plus over 2 into x minus 2, and then from here we're just going to open our bracket, so it's y is equals to 8x times x, it's x squared, x times negative 2 is minus 2x, 1 over 2 times x is just 1 over 2x, and then half times negative 2 is just negative 1, and then y is equals to 8 into, and then now x squared, negative 2 plus 1 over 2 is just negative 3 over 2x, and minus 1, and then from here just going to times by 8, so it's going to be 8x squared, and then 8 times negative 3 over 2, it's negative 12x, and then 8 times negative 1, it's what? It's negative 8. So therefore our f at x, it's what? It's 8x squared minus 12x minus 8. Then we are done. We have already shown that our f at x is equals to 8x squared minus 12x minus 8. Okay guys, now we are still continuing. Now we are doing 6.4. What is 6.4 wanting? It's saying determine the coordinates of v of the turning point of f. So now we are looking for a turning point. We already have our f at x, which is equals to 8x squared minus 12x, and then minus 8. How do we find the turning point? We find the x of a turning point of a parabola is equals to minus b all over 2a, and then from here we substitute. I hope you still remember that this is my a, this is my b, and then this is my c, and then negative into negative 12 all over 2 into 8, and then equals to, then negative into negative 12, and then 2 into 8, it's what? It's 3 over 4, and then this is my x coordinates of a turning point. How do you find y? Substitute in the original equation, so it's x into 3 over 4, then 8 into 3 over 4 all squared minus 12 into 3 over 4 all squared, and then my, oh sorry, it's not squared here, and then minus 8. And then from here substitute, punch it on the calculator, 3 over 4 all squared minus 12 into 3 over 4 and then minus 8, and then which is give us negative 25 over 2. Then this is my y of a turning point, so my v, it's what? It's 3 over 4 maps to negative 25 over 2. So this is my turning point. Now moving on, now it's saying use the graph to determine the values of v if f at x is equals to k has two distinct unequal roots. Now here, going to my turning point here, we do know that it's 3 over 4 maps to negative 25 over 2. So now how do we tackle this equation? Going to a graph, they are telling us that my f at x is equals to k. How do we find this one? We're going to my y of a turning point, and then they are telling unequal roots. The unequal roots must be in top of our graph. So my k is going to be greater because my negative 2 over 5 is less than what the values that I'm going to find up here. That's why my k is greater than turning point, or y of a turning point, which is just negative 25 over 2, which is the 6.5. This was 6.5, and then 6.6, it's saying f prime of x times g prime of x less than what? 0. Then from here, the derivative of f prime of x, this is my f prime of f. If I can derive that one, 8 times 2, it's what? It's 16x, and then minus 12. Then I times this with the derivative of a straight line. Our equation of a straight line, our g at x was negative x plus 2. If I can derive that, I'm going to find negative 1, so it's less than 0. And then from here, I times with my negative, so it's going to be negative 16x plus 12 less than 0. And then from here, take 12 to the other side, so it's negative 16x less than negative 12. Then divide by negative 16, divide by negative 16. This sign is going to change. I'm left with x. This sign now, since I'm dividing with a negative, then what? Then 12 divided by 16, which is 3 over 4. Then from here we are done. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Mark it.